welcome to Burnham-on-Sea, the 2007 British BMX Championships. I'm Rebecca Charlton and with me is Martin McCrossum.
You may be more familiar now with the backflips of the freestyle form of BMX, but it all started with this, track racing.
Coming up today, we've got everything from the under-6 category up to elite and masters.
The dirt tracks of the past have been replaced by speed-increasing tarmac. If you go down on this, you've got to be made of tough stuff to get back up. One of the toughest and best is newly crowned elite world champion Sinead Reid, and we're going to be catching up with her later.
But before we go any further, let's take a look at the track.
I'm here with top British BMX pro Liam Phillips. He's nearly a 20-time British national champion, and he's designed a new course here at Burnham, so he's got the experience to tell us about it. Liam, what was in your mind when you set the new course for the championships?
Definitely something that we can ride all year round, hence tarmac, and basically something that we can aspire to when we travel away in Europe. A lot of the tracks are a lot more technical than here in Europe. So we want something that, if we're training on it day in, day out, when we go to Europe, should be just like riding our home track.
In terms of, just look ahead to the Olympics next year, is this a similar track to what you'll be riding next year if you go to the Olympics?
It's on its way to being that way. Obviously the Olympics is a much higher start hill, and due to the higher start hill, you can have a lot longer jumps. But yeah, it's definitely something that we can work with to gain the technical ability to be able to ride the track at the Olympics.
Okay, so let's suit up and head out and have a go.
Okay, right, let's set them up. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Okay, so we're just rolling down to this first section, so step up doubles?
Step up double, yeah.
So this first straight, what's the theory behind this? What are you looking to do on this first straight out the gate?
Well, in BMX, the first straight is pretty much the most important part of the track. So we want to use as much power and high speed as possible, hence a long first straight with a lot of pedalling.
Okay, into the first berm, we look on the exit of here, we've got a double jump.
Yeah.
How important is this? Why jump in the turn?
Just for effect, really. You know, it's not necessary, but it makes it a lot harder to take the actual corner whilst jumping.
Okay, this second straight starting to look a little bit more serious. We've got step up doubles, step up and tabletop. Where's the best place to sort of look to start to pass people?
Well, once you exit the first turn, a lot of riders tend to drift to the outside to rail this corner to enable them to jump the next straight. But it's always a good option to go straight out the inside and then pass the person straight out the inside of the next jump.
Yeah, so these ones start to kick you up a lot more through here. So we're heading towards the third berm. So this sort of looks like a really serious part of the circuit here.
Well, this is a new section. This is built for a lot of the younger kids at the club to build their riding ability, really. No different to this last straight that we're going down now. Basically, every track that we go to is very similar to this in Europe, and Europe being pretty much everyone's main target throughout the year.
So a lot of technique involved in this last bit. Can races be won and lost on this last straight?
Oh, without a doubt. I think you'll definitely see that today.
Whew. So definitely a really technical course here at Burnham. It's got everything that we need for some exciting racing. We're going to see Liam in action later on today. So that's the track. It's over to Rebecca to check out the bikes.
Well, I'm joined here by a man who certainly knows a thing or two about BMX. Welcome, Alan Woods.
Hello.
So first of all, can you tell me a bit about your involvement in the sport over the years?
Well, that would take a long time, but we've been involved in BMX racing since 1981. We've run a race team pretty much all through those years, and we're currently national #1 team this year, and we won it last year as well.
Fantastic stuff. So I'm here to talk to you about the bikes. Talk us through what we've got here and the elements that make up a modern day racing BMX.
Okay, well, the things that you have that might be different to a typical street BMX bike is you've got an aluminium frame instead of a steel or chrome moly frame. Some of the riders do prefer a steel frame, but if you have a look around, most of them are on aluminium. Another difference is you've got V-brakes mounted on the top of the seat stays here, where a street bike might still be using U-brakes. Crank and bottom bracket, you might have an aluminium or a chrome moly crank, and they've got a threaded European bottom bracket rather than the older big type of bottom bracket. And obviously you've got dirt tyres on here rather than a smoother street tyre that you'd find on a normal bike.
So talk there about tyres. What about the wheel size? Have we got variation in those?
Well, traditionally BMX bikes have always been 20-inch wheeled. We've now also got cruiser class, which use 24-inch wheels, and some of the younger riders use inch and an eighth and inch and 3/8 wheels, which are a little bit different in diameter, just because they're narrower width and more suitable for the size. But BMX, 20-inch wheels predominantly.
So you've just mentioned cruiser there. Tell me what the difference is with that and what we've got here.
It's just a 24-inch wheel BMX bike, still single speed with a free wheel, but just a larger wheel, and there's another class for that. Some of the cruiser classes go up to older riders, so generally speaking, you've got 12 and under cruiser class, and then you've got all the way through to 40 plus. So it's generally for the older riders, and it's a good way of getting back into BMX if someone hasn't rode for a while. The 20-inch wheel bikes are a little bit squirrely. 24-inch, a little bit more stable, and if someone's coming from mountain biking into BMX, it's a good way to get into it.
So you mentioned there, things are changing in the sport. We've got it as an Olympic sport obviously now. Back in the day, things were a bit different. Now, if we take a quick walk over here, talk me through this bike, how have things changed?
Things have changed quite a bit, but the thing that's great about it, a lot of things haven't changed. You know, the frame geometry is still the same, the head tube angle might be a bit steeper. Main difference is the frame top tube. You know, here this is probably about 18 inches. On a modern bike, you know, for an adult to ride, it'll be 21 inches or over. So there's a big difference there. The materials used, this is a chrome moly frame, as I mentioned before. Most people are using aluminium now, or aluminium and carbon fibre. So there's a lot of advances in material technology. A lot of the other things, the cranks are still pretty similar. The gearing that we use is similar. This is 44 on the front and 16 on the rear. You know, that bike's probably got a very similar ratio on. Some of the riders use the micro gearing, so if the sprocket goes down on the front, the cassette on the back also goes smaller. But if you look at what the pros are running, it's still the same gearing that, you know, I ran 26 years ago.
So if I'm looking to get into BMX at entry level, what should I be looking for? Well,
the big problem is finding the race bikes. If you can find a race bike in a shop, or you can find them online, or you can go down to your local club, really they represent fantastic value for money, because you can pay just over £200 for a new BMX race bike that's capable of coming and winning a national, which is, you know, I don't know any other aspect of cycling that you can do that without spending thousands of pounds. And obviously you can spend a lot of money on a bike, but it really is a fantastic entry-level sport. And if you buy a bike for £200, £250, the bikes that you can get nowadays, because of the way they're built, are absolutely fantastic.
So there's no excuse there, we should all have a go.
That's right, not at all.
Alan, thanks for joining us. Back to you, Martin.
Join us after the break when we've got the full range of BMX, from the kids to the old school. Welcome back. They're a quiet lot, this BMX crowd, so Rebecca's jumped in to catch up with some of the kids.
Unlike a lot of other sports, BMX gets them started young. There are categories from as young as under sixes. Let's have a look at the finals from the under six up to the teens.
I'm joined here now by world champion Sinead Reid. Welcome, Sinead. So, on reflection, looking back at this year, you're not one times world champion, you're now twice on the track and BMX. How are you feeling looking back?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic year. Everything, all my preparation like in the winter, everything went perfect. I was injury free, and then obviously I won on the velodrome, and that was a massive achievement for me, only racing there for 3 months. So this year's gone perfect. If I can replicate this any other year, it'd be an amazing thing to do, so I'm really happy.
So focusing first of all on BMX, what's the atmosphere like? Why did you get into it?
Like if you look around you, just all the action that's around, just meeting new people, getting to travel across all over countries, all around the world, and I like that. That really attracted me to it. But just the extreme, like the buzz out of the sport that you get, is so appealing from young people from the age of like 5 up to like 55. So it's across the board. It's good for everyone. And I just got involved in it just because I'm quite strong. I'm strong. I've always been. I did running. So it's like strong there, and just transferred onto the bike, and I loved it. Everything about the sport I love.
So I hear you've been out socialising last night. How do you juggle everything with training?
Well, I don't usually socialise as much as I did last night, but I thought I deserved it because it's just at the end of the year, and I'm having like a bit of a break at the moment. So yeah, it's just like I just try and fit everything in. I'm 18 years of age. I try and just do everything in life. I don't try and like isolate myself and miss out on the opportunities that an 18-year-old should do, because I mean you only live once, so you should still be able to do everything. But I just do it in moderation and just focus on my training. And when I can do something, I will try and fit everything in.
So this weekend, obviously, you're not riding yourself. So who are we looking out for as the big names?
In the guys, I think you've got guys like Warren Bancroft from Crewe, where I live, and also Kelvin Beatty and Lawrence Mapp. I think them guys will be good to watch in the elite men category. In the girls, it can be a little girl of my friend called Abby Taylor. She's like I think 13, and she's racing the elite women. So look out for that. I think that'll be a really good race to watch.
I mean, it's awesome seeing all the ages up there. What can we expect from the sport going forward? There's been quite a lot of changes, as I understand.
Yeah, I mean, even when I went to the World Championships this year, I just sat there and thought, like, BMX is becoming so much more like the track, like velodrome side in terms of, like, professionalism. It just seems to be really raising the bar. I mean, at this kind of level, it's still kind of the same fun element, but when I went to the Worlds and the European rounds, it seems like BMX is turning into, like, a much more professional sport rather than this laid-back sport where everyone thinks it's just it's just big kids. It's like, it's people on kids' bikes. It's that, I think it's kind of changing, the opinion of it's all changing now.
Well, congratulations and good luck going forward. Thanks for joining us. Right, back to you, Martin.
Thanks, Rebecca. And as Sinead Reid just mentioned, Abby Taylor, one of the stars of the future. She goes now in the junior female category. And a great start by Abby. You know this young girl very well, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, I've worked with Abby on the BCF BMX talent team, and she's really showing the training that she's doing there. She's jumping the stuff. She's got the power and the skills.
Into the second straight, and Abby Taylor now just forging into the lead. Is it worrying that there is such a big gap between her and the other girls in this category?
You know, we have a habit in this country at the moment of producing really talented younger girl riders, and I think they're just stepping it up. I think Sinead has probably, you know, raised the bar.
Abby Taylor, she rides for the Croupi team, and she's had plenty of time to practice on that. Terrific skill now. Abby Taylor rides to the national title, and she lives up to her top billing. Abby Taylor takes the gold, Rhea Goodman of Ipswich takes the silver, and Lauren Smith from Peterborough takes the bronze.
I got a bad gate and then I just pedalled, jumped the first straight, come out the first turn, and then as soon as I left the second straight, all I knew I had to do was stay on my bike.
We move from the cruisers to the 20-inch wheels. It's the men's 15-year category. And the riders, they watch the gate, they power, they've got to get this first straight right, and already in lane 2, Matthew Masterson jumps the first set of doubles, takes the second set in his stride. He lost the National Series by only half a point, Mike. He wants this national title, doesn't he?
Yeah, Matty's going for it, you know. It's such a shame he lost it, but he's on fire now. Look at him go.
He's giving it everything he's got, and he's already got an incredible lead. Jason Fain, Ben Blake chasing hard for the minor placings. But as a Matthew Masterson rides into the final straight, he's got time to showboat, rocking and rolling behind Jason Fain, Ben Blake challenging. But it's a win for Matthew Masterson. He takes that title from Jason Fay and Ben Blake. Teammates Lee Crowther in there in 4th place. Lost the National Series by only half a point. He takes the national title. One of the closest fought titles always. It's the 16-year male category, and they power away from the start. Farron Affleck Straker on the right, Aaron Curry out of the closest lane, and these 2nd, 3rd and 4th gate starts really seem to have the advantage today.
Yeah, they definitely seem to favour the winners, you know, if you've got those inside gates. I mean, look at the way he's coming over that 2nd section, really pumping and keeping his speed.
Aaron Curry there. Oh, someone's pimped to the top. This plays into the hands of Curry.
That was a tough manoeuvre, but he's away with it. He's gone, you know, especially after the problems he's had this year with his back. You know, Aaron's leading it away there.
Very smooth through this final rhythm section. Look at the technique of Aaron Curry. Salutes the air, and behind him, it was a close fought affair. Fantastic ride by Aaron Curry to take the 16-year age group. Stephen Sewell takes the silver, Sam Coleman takes the bronze, and Farron Affleck Straker of Brixton BMX sneaks in.